session on SAP data migration using lsmw, PDC and BAPI. So what is data migration? Well, data migration is the process of migrating, that is transferring of data from one system to another. It is a key consideration for any system implementation, upgrade or consolidation. Data migration is not simple as the name indicates, that transferring data. For data migration required in-depth planning about what data to be transferred, the sequence of data in which it is to be transferred, the field mapping from the source system to target system, the conversion rule, etc. So what type of data generally we transfer? In any ERP system, whether it is SAP or non-SAP, the data is generally categorized into the master data, transaction data, etc. What is master data? Like the material master, vendor master, customer, bill of material, GL accounts. Those are called as master data. Those data doesn't change frequently. On the other hand, there are transaction data like the purchase order, sales order, vendor customer ledger, etc. Those are called as the transaction data. We can see the figure here, master and transaction data. So when exactly the data migration is used? Data migration is used when a company wants to do a new SAP implementation, or they want to transfer, they are moving from their existing ECC system to the S/4HANA system. So initially here, that is any DB, they might have their non-SAP system or ECC system and they want to go to SAP ECC or S/4HANA. So this system they might be using for years and years. So they have a lot of data of product master, vendor, customer. So for 50 or 100 we can create manually in the SAP system. But if the data in the source system are in thousands, like we want to transfer the 10,000 material, we want to transfer 1,000 of customer, so it is not possible manually. So in this case we use the concept of data migration. We migrate the data from source to SAP system. On other hand, data migration technique is also used on the periodic basis. Take example, a company already using SAP, but on top of SAP system they are using some CRM software or some other web-based application for their sales executive. So on day-to-day basis they create the customer, the inquiries in this web-based application and they transfer data to SAP through a FTP folder or through the web services. As SAP doesn't allow direct write of data from non-SAP system, the first data is moved to a FTP folder and in SAP it is read through FTP and through BDC or BAPI we load into SAP. So what we understand here, we can use the data migration in the implementation process, or the same technique we also use on the periodic processing. So what are the main steps in a data migration? So if we have a legacy system, from the legacy system we read the data, we do the data mapping and the conversion of data into the SAP, and then it is imported to the SAP database. So before doing this we require a deep analysis, like if you are using non-SAP system from 10 years, so whether we really require to transfer all the data, or we can define our own logic. Let's transfer the data of customers who has done any transaction in last 2-3 years. So this will reduce the data size in the new system. On the other hand, we can also decide whether we want to transfer only the open line items of the sales order or the complete sales order and the purchase order. So this comes all in the analysis and the planning. In the analysis and planning, we also have to plan the sequence of the data. Like if you want to transfer the purchase order, then before the purchase order, we have to transfer the material and the vendor. Then only the purchase order will be created. So this all will come in the analysis part, analysis and planning. Then comes the extraction of data. We have to extract the data from the source system. Then we can think about cleaning the data. So let's take example. We have decided to get data of last 3 years of vendor, customer, and all the orders. But data cleaning means here we can apply some filter. We can check for the incomplete address of customers or vendor. So if you found any address incomplete, so we can avoid moving that data, because again it will be like not of use. So we can do data cleaning. In the designing part, this is a technical approach. Which approach we want to use, as there are multiple techniques available for data migration. We have to also decide how the data file will be, whether we're uploading the data as it is, which is received from source system, and converting into SAP, or we're making a flight file as per the SAP requirement. This all we have to consider in the designing part. Then we have to read. Generally, text file is used in the receiver side for SAP. Now, what is data mapping conversion? From source system to target system, the field name may not be same. Take example, in the source system, the country is written as India, but in SAP, it is maintained in form of ID, that is IN. Okay, so here we have to take care of field mapping, that is country of source to mapping of country SAP, and the conversion rule. Here, if it is India, convert to IN. So either in the text file only we have to do. If not, we can upload the file as it is with the full name and do the required conversion in the program. Second example, take a unit of measure. If source company using unit of measure as each, in SAP we have IDEA. So like this, we have to take care of all the conversion rules, data mapping, for the date field, for the currency field, etc. Once our data mapping and conversion is done, then we can load the data into SAP. After loading data, we have to do a reconciliation. What is meant by reconciliation? So from the file, we have upload 1000 records. So whether 1000 records are created or not in the SAP, that reconciliation we have to do. So what are different methods, tools available in SAP for data migration? So very commonly used tools are, first one is the lsmw, which is known as Legacy System Migration Workbench. Second is BDC, that is called as Batch Data Communication. Third is the BAPI, which is known as Business Application Programming Interface. Those three methods are common in both ECC as well as in SAP S/4HANA. Along with those tools, we can also make use of web service and idoc. But web service and idoc result in periodic processing. Those are used for the periodic processing rather than data migration. And if you want to use idoc, we also require a middleware. Okay, so for that reason, most common tools are lsmw, BDC, and BAPI. Along with this, in the S/4HANA system, SAP has also provided the new tools like LTMC and LTMOM, which are known as Legacy Transfer of Migration Cockpit and Legacy Transfer Migration Object Modeler. Those two tools are provided in S/4HANA only. So this is about a little introduction of data migration. In next session, we'll see detail about the lsmw.